The job title engineer is an unfortunately generalized one, which may refer to a wide number of specific occupation, including a ship's engineer, a construction or electrical engineer, a chemical engineer, and even a railroad engineer, including one who actually runs a locomotive. One risk all of them share, however, is asbestos exposure, which has been part of virtually all industrial activities since the mid-19th century. Asbestos has been used in everything from insulation and protective clothing intended to shield the wearer from fire danger. Asbestos is an odd, and some say miraculous, substance that combines its strength and durability of stone with the flexibility of cloth fibers. It is these same miraculous characteristics that ultimately make it deadly, however. Asbestiform minerals. Asbestos is not a single substance, but rather a group of fibrous silicate or silicon-like minerals, the forms of which include serpentine and amphiboles. Geologically, it is found among metamorphous rock and is a product of that process. Metamorphism occurs when the structure, texture, and chemical composition of rock is changed by means of any combination of heat, shearing stress, geological pressures, and compaction, as well as chemical reactions. Examples include quartzite and slate. 6 different forms of asbestos have been widely used in industrial situations. The most common is chrysotile, so-called white asbestos. These fibers are softer and have a curled shape. Chrysotile, part of the serpentine category of asbestiform minerals, has been used in nearly everything from building insulation to automotive brake linings. Ironically, it was also part of protective fire suits worn by steel mill workers and race car drivers. It is believed that the late actor Steve McQueen, who died of mesothelioma in 1980, may have been exposed to asbestos as a result of wearing such clothing while driving race cars. The other 5 forms of asbestos are in the amphibole category. Amphibole asbestos was commonly used in low-density insulation board, acoustic ceiling tiles, asbestos cement sheets and pipes employed in construction, water pipe casing, and insulation for electrical conduits. Amosite, or brown asbestos, was noted for being especially resistant to acids and other corrosive chemicals. It was frequently used in chemical plants. What's the difference? In terms of health effects, there is very little difference between serpentine and amphibole fibers. Contrary to claims made by a certain chemical company, chrysolite asbestos is not safer than any other asbestiform mineral. It may do some damage more slowly, whereas amphibole fibers are spear-shaped and rigid. Serpentine is more spring-like. Nonetheless, most of the asbestos used in the U.S. was of the chrysotile variety, and the results have proven every bit as deadly. Medical researchers are not entirely certain how asbestos fibers cause healthy cells to become malignant. Certain studies suggest that interaction with these microscopic fibers in combination with one or more conditions such as genetic predisposition, tobacco use, or even a virus known as SV40 may cause the cell's DNA to mutate. Where might one be exposed? Engineers in various professions may have been exposed almost anywhere at any time. The general rule of thumb is, wherever there was a danger from heat, open flame, electric current, or caustic chemicals, and the facility was built prior to the 1980s, asbestos products were being used somewhere. Exactly where this might have been depends on the specific engineering field. In filing an asbestos-related lawsuit, the facility or employer is not usually the part ultimately held liable, unless it can be proven that there was knowledge of asbestos dangers and management deliberately failed to act to protect its workers. Because it has been well documented that the asbestos industry itself was aware of the health dangers and continued to market asbestos products while concealing their dangers from the public, it is usually easier to assign liability to an asbestos manufacturer or its corporate successors. Thank you for watching. This video was produced by Asbestos.Net, a leading resource on all aspects of asbestos and mesothelioma. Our priority is to inform victims about the devastating effects of asbestos exposure, mesothelioma, asbestos cancer, asbestosis,
and other asbestos-related diseases, and to advise them with a wealth of information. Individuals whose lives have been touched by mesothelioma have numerous questions and concerns. Their caregivers and family members also need accurate, reliable information. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos cancer and need more information, we invite you to visit and explore the thousands of pages of oncologist-reviewed material on Asbestos.net, to call our convenient toll-free number shown below and speak with a mesothelioma specialist, or to use the simple contact form found at Asbestos.net to request a free copy of our informative books, custom inserts, and DVD. Asbestos.net. Information and help for patients and families.